What I love to hear when I hear speeches is I love to hear the structure and the body of the speech all put together. The introduction, the body and the conclusion, all wrapped up, all come together in harmony. And Dr. Jim did a wonderful display of that today. He had a wonderful opening. He had 3 subtopics, and he counted them out like this. And then he had a conclusion that brought back the beginning of the opening, and it made it sound so wonderful. Thank you, Jim. He started off with a seminar that he was a part of, and he brought up 3 managers. So he opened up with something that he is very familiar with, giving speeches. He talked about how doing the little stuff that managers do should normally take 10 to 20% of their time, but really took somewhere between 40 and 60%. And to me, I was like, yeah, don't sweat the small stuff. You know, Jim, I used a cliche there, but you also used another cliche which I like, which is blow me away. You know, those type of words really give energy to your speech. And I like that your speech had energy. You talked about paramental procedures, and you engaged the audience. You asked for a raise of hands, so everybody participated. That got everybody refocused on you, refocused on what your 3 topics were going to be. Great job. You talked about a motion, which is a sort of motion. You talked about incidental motions, where sometimes something important you have to say, but it may have nothing to do with the meeting itself, which I was thinking about that. You had me thinking. I like that. A point of order. In other words, stopping the meeting and saying, hey, listen, the meeting is going astray. Let's get back focused in on what the discussion is about. And then an appeal. You may not agree with everything the speaker has to say, or you may disagree and say, hey, this doesn't sound right. This is what I think it is. So you have different options, and I like the way you use the tool belt. What is the tool belt? It's just something that goes, and you have a place for each specific tool. And the way you mentioned the tool belt, I can visualize it. I can visualize me wearing a tool belt. Heel goes here, the A motion goes here, and everything like that. Good analogy. I love analogies. Some things that I want you to go ahead and correct. I heard a few stutters, which is normal, I guess. You used okay a few times, and used the word right, which I know you have a tendency of doing so. Just let you know that I caught all that. Things that you did great, hand motions. Everywhere in your speech were hand motions. When you talked about the length of the speech, when you counted out all 3 subtopics, and your use of examples, excellent. Last thing to say, basically, is, let's see, the way you closed it, the way you talked about your better dressed participant, and again, you related back all the way up to the tool belt. So thank you very much. Excellent speech.